So today, I wanted to talk about how to take breaks. The thing about breaks is if you don't take one, your brain is going to take one for you. And that could either just be like a minor checking out, or it could even be extreme burnout. Personally, I have a long history of burning myself out with programming. That's something I've been doing since 2016 or so. I tried it earlier in the past, around 2011, and I did a really good job at burning myself out right away because there's just so many steps to get to the point of making stuff, and it could be heavy in math at times, believe it or not. But with drawing, I've been able to, okay, I can compare, but it's not the same thing. So, like, different things will burn you out in different ways, and I feel like drawing is a different, it's kind of hard to compare, but just know that. But the point is, you could still get burned out with it. I don't believe there's any task that you can't get burned out with. I think it really applies to anything. Too much of anything could get you to that point. Even if you, like, say, played a video game, I believe if you do it long enough, you'll burn yourself out with it. So the important thing is to know, like, what burns you out and, like, how to recover. So, in my article here, and feel free to read it if you want to, I'll put the link to it in the description. But the point here is to know that even if when you're taking a break, you may not be taking the best break you could be, because various things are eating away at your attention, whether that be watching some informational video or even like reading a book that may not be helping you in your break recovery phase. I've been guilty of this in the past as well, and effectively, like, let's say I've been drawing for, let's say 50 minutes or so, and I take a break, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break now, and I'm going to read some material on drawing, or something like that. And effectively, I do that for maybe, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so, maybe longer, and then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to jump right back into drawing, and then I do that, and then I am just as tired before I eat when I stop drawing. So it's stuff like that that just know that, like, it doesn't help. What you need is you need time to give your brain a complete rest. Perhaps some things can be used to help with it. Like, it's really hard to say. Probably more research needs to be done with this, but, like, if you were to, like, play a video game, perhaps it does stimulate a different part of your brain that does help you rest in a way, but in all, I think it would just be too stressful on you, and stuff like that is, like, if you are gonna, like, use any of your leisure time, whether that be browsing the internet, reading a book, or playing a video game or something like that, should be done after you complete everything you want to do with drawing for the day. So the point is that if I'm gonna take a break, I will be alone with my mind. That could be really difficult for some people, even myself at times. But the thing is, like, it could be a good opportunity for you to maybe drink some water, meditate. I have a link here to a video that I would always use when I would meditate. I highly recommend it. You don't have to go for the full, I think it's like 14 minutes or so, but, like, it could be a good thing for, like, either a 5 or a 10-minute break. If you like focusing on this type of, like, mindfulness training, I found it to be extremely beneficial, even refreshing after you're doing it. Like, I would get such a burst of energy that coffee wouldn't do. Coffee does help sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, so I do recommend coffee at some points in time. Maybe just, like, drinking a cup of coffee for 5 or 10 minutes and just focusing on that could be a good way to recover. But the thing here is you have to learn about yourself. Now, another thing that could be difficult with even drawing in the first place is our attention spans. Now, in this world, I'm sure you all know I live in the same world as you do, that we are constantly being bombarded by information, whether that be from, like, any social media or the internet. A lot of it has to do with advertising and selling you stuff. That's just the way it kind of works, sadly. But just know that stuff like that will greatly hurt your attention span. It's the algorithms don't care about your attention span. They don't care if you're drawing. They just want to sell you stuff. That's most of the time how it works. So just know that if you're constantly addicted to your phone, constantly looking at it all the time, I must admit I am a bit like that as well. I'm always trying to work on that though. That can really hurt your ability to take a successful break. So when I was programming, I would say back in college, I kind of had a bit of an issue with breaking up my time. I would burn myself out constantly with my classes. So it was then that I learned about the Pomodoro technique, in which basically what you do, you study for 25 minutes or whatever task you're doing, do it for 25 minutes, then a 5-minute break. You use timers. Like, you always want to use a timer to structure your time, and you do not want to go over that. So effectively, 25-minute study, 5-minute break. Then you repeat that for, let's say, 2-3 times, with taking a 5-minute break in between those times. And then after, let's say, your third one, you then take a longer break. I may have mentioned this in a previous video about the Pomodoro technique, but I really can't stress it enough when you're starting out drawing. Because the thing about breaks is I feel like it's helpful for everyone to use, but sometimes you will get into a thing that I like to call the flow state. I mean, the flow state's a bit known. I've read a book on it as well, but basically, like, when you're drawing and effectively, like, you are in the flow and you lose track of time. You could Google more about the flow state if you want to, but effectively, like, you're drawing, but, like, you're not aware. Like, you are aware, but it's so hard to you'll know it when you feel it. So the thing about that is, if you could enter the flow state, at that point, I would say try to keep in the flow state for as long as you can, and then you could just, like, ignore the Pomodoro technique. And now I know some people may be highly against that, but, like, I found myself, like, I mean, if you're enjoying it, that's great, and you're also getting in that good practice time as well. So definitely try to apply the Pomodoro technique to you. Get yourself a timer, whether it's like a physical one or, I mean, you could even just Google timer, and I think if on Google search, it'll just appear and you could use that one. Or you could, like, even download an app on your phone or something like that for a timer. Just a word of advice, I highly suggest that you pick, like, a timer beeping sound that's relaxing, because from my experience, I used horrible ones, and I was like, how do I say it? I was, like, anticipating the horrible beeping sound, and I hated it. So I then found another application that had a way to set your own calm timers that are not, like, screaming at you when you're done. So pro tip there. Now the last thing I want to mention is the one-page drawing plan that I made. Effectively, before you even, like, I mean, you'll plot this into it, but I highly suggest you read my article or watch my video about the one-page drawing plan, because I feel like it can really help you structure your day. And, pretty much I mention here integrating the Pomodoro technique into your practice schedule, which I find it crucial, because if you do that and you have a plan, you'll be solid. But just know that it could take a long time to draw for even, like, the periods of time that I mentioned. I learned that from a Drawbox. I believe it was a Drawbox video, and basically Uncomfortable was talking about how when you're first starting out, it's going to be very painful to do this. I mean, that's kind of starting out with any new thing, but over time you'll eventually get to the point in which it won't be as painful to do. Basically, like any skill, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of experience to get to the point in which you could draw for extended points of time. But yeah, please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions to my article for successfully taking breaks. I think that this is something that you kind of have to modify for yourself. But thanks for listening.